chat, we have Mechalink asking, how do we know? Yes, we have the file into our tracker, and it tells us the first level stats. As we go on through the game, we can increment level up and see what we get as well.
Alright, and we are off. We have an herb, some gold, and of course we're going to have a key in this third chest here.
Alright, so basic opening. No way to get out of the castle, no way for a free treasury. You have some money, you have 3 ways to heal yourself. Go forth and fight.
Yep. We'll see if... Okay, it looks like Tristal just gonna start exploring right away. Not gonna... As is Kongcakes, interesting.
So now the racer are thinking, I'm gonna save this money and spend it. They're going to try and go out and make a level or two.
Yep, and Kongcakes finds a rogue scorpion. That's slightly more difficult than the red slime Tristal found.
Tristal, however, walks a bit more to the east and finds a mid-tier enemy with Dragonlord Breath.
Oh,
so
that is...
Druin says...
Yes, he drew in ate the spicy buffalo hot wings prior to wandering the world here.
Alright, so the castle is in what we call Zone 0, with a few pretty easy enemies. Beyond that point, you have a Zone 1 on 2 sides, which is not as bad. Ooh! The Magician has both Sleep and the Dragonlord Breath, so an enemy of not high power normally in the game, but has incredible abilities thanks to the Randomizer.
The dreaded Wombo combo. To borrow a Smash Brothers term.
Alright, Tristal doing the long game ghost fight. So ghosts are probably the toughest of the basic enemies. I have the most HP, a higher defense and agility, and a dodge chance. With the heal, Tristal will stay in the fight longer. So it's kind of rolling dice of how many times you hit the ghost before it dodges your attacks or kills you in return.
Yes, indeed. Meanwhile, Kongcakes finds another one of those magicians. Tristal does defeat the ghost, going up to level 2 here. 1, 4, 3, 0 MP! I love it! Does pick up a couple new spells, though, including Sleep and Stop Spell, which may well be very useful if he decides to fight or find some of those magicians with the Wombo combo.
Yeah, Stop Spell won't stop Dragon Breath, but it'll stop any magic. So healing, sleep, their own stop spells, hurt spells, are all going to be shut down by the stop spell. And sleep is on your end, gives you a few free against combat for your side. So, overlooked a bit sometimes in the Randomizer, because they're not damage spells or healing spells, but stats effect spells in this game are pretty crippling.
Yes, they're actually quite nice in the hands of both you and especially your opponents, because Sleep is a 100% effective spell guaranteed to take you out of at least 1 round. Oh, Drakeys. Also, the spicy buffalo wings, very popular in this scene today. It is the 3rd enemy we have seen with Dragonlord Breath.
This has been a half-off special. Kongcakes sees Breckenary and says, holy crap, there's a town. Goes back to start the game and does a reload, a renew character, and we'll have that gold again from the first chest. Also waiting in the wings, Charlock, slightly to the northeast.
We have, yes, the Big C, as we like to call it. Tristal, meanwhile, gonna fight yet another ghost here.
Tristal with the level up has enough, durability to fight this ghost on more even terms. Kongcakes is gonna skip this entirely and say, hey, I want to hop a sword. I want chainmail. I want, defense and power the easy way.
Yep. Well, unfortunately, getting Rogue Scorpion there. Don't know if he...
Kongcakes will give it 2 tries.
Okay, he's gonna try one more time. Alright. I don't know if he saved after he started over the second time. Or started over.
Didn't see it, but I imagine at this point just fine, I'll settle for a copper sword.
Meanwhile, Tristal getting level 3. 2, 2, 2, and 2. Ah, 3. Almost. Tristal finding a town now.
Also south, but guarded by a vicious jerkbird.
Ambushed by that wyvern. Tristal's gonna go back to the start.
Alright, so again, early game, if you have a free sword in the treasury, even if you hurt more at level 1, You're still very slow and very squishy, so if you're ambushed by about anything, you're probably in trouble.
Yes, indeed. It looks like Kongcakes has abandoned that particular plan. He's going to try and do a little grinding here. Here's.
And Kongcakes realizing past the castle is at least 3 enemies with either sleep or Dragon Lord Breath. So getting there on a hero walk seems unlikely. And rather than waste time against Tristal, who is a high caliber player, let's just start getting our levels and hopefully we find a hurt more or a way to get past these beasts.
Yes, one of the difficult points of the randomizer is committing to a strategy, but at the same time being able to change up your strategy when it becomes clear, okay, this is simply not going to work. And what is the balance point? What is the best time to do that? To stick with something versus try something else. Meanwhile, Tristal finding coal, very important town. We're going to see what's 4 steps south of the fountain here. And it's Erdrick's armor. That is going to put Tristal in the driver's seat here.
Alright, tremendous find. Heal 1 HP per step, ignore swamps, ignore barriers, ignore stop spell. Cut hurt spells by, I think, 2/3, cut Dragon Lord Breath by 1/3. And anything else? Oh yeah, plus like 40 defense power. So, possibly the best armor ever created in any game ever.
Yes, one of the best pieces of armor in JRPG history. And we don't know if there's going to be a gold grind available, but all 3 of the best purchasable pieces of equipment in the game are available in coal, although the magic armor is rather redundant at this point. But there is a flame sword and a silver shield available, so that.
The treasury is still unknown. Once they find keys, and maybe a chance to set up a gold grind, either in the treasury itself, or maybe a downstairs basement with a mountain cave or Garen's grave downstairs. And we'll get into more details if we happen to find 8 chests in a row, and make the game say, I'm out of brain power. You can have it. Again and again and again.
Yes, indeed. See, Wolf, they're describing the very basics of the chest glitch, often called the gold glitch, but you can use it to get extra items as well. And Tristal does pick up a club. The chest glitch, the way it works is when you pick up a chest, it doesn't permanently go away, it just gets shuffled off into another piece of memory. Presumably to prevent wacky soft locks, where if you grab a key item like the silver harp out of a chest, but your inventory's full and the game asks you if you want to give it up and you accidentally say yes, well, you have a major problem. So what happens is the game just shuffles the chest off into another piece of memory, and when you go back into the overworld, it flushes that out and returns the chests to where they were. If you fill that memory with all 8 chests, and you then try to pick up a 9th chest, the game says, well, the memory I would shuffle this off to is full, so I'm just not going to do it. I'm just going to give you the contents. And you can just keep grabbing that chest over and over and over again.
That can be used both ways. Grab gold, grab herbs. We saw a few races back, player grabbed like 8 cursed belts just to sell in town. And yeah, basically also the chest coming back every time means you can go to a vanilla cave, Stone Sunlight Cave on the overworld. It's got a gold chest, you can go farm it. You have Garen's grave that has keys and gold, you go back and forth, it takes a while, but if you have no other option, you get easy gold that way as well.
Yes, the treasury or a otherwise castle-connected cave is the classic way of doing a gold grind or the gold grind, but because the chests regenerate when you go onto the overworld, as you say, if you can find a gold chest in, say, the Stones of Sunlight Cave, you can repeatedly enter, grab the gold, leave, and come back. As you mentioned, it's slow, but sometimes that's just what you have to do to get yourself going.
Alright, Kongcakes keeps running to enemies with high power abilities, cannot get past level 2. Tristal level 4 now, has not gained any more spells, but it's gained some stats, and with best armor in the game, can take a punch much better than Kongcakes can.
Yes, 39 defense points to Kongcakes' 5. Gonna pick up a dragon scale, presumably get a couple more defense points here. Does immediately remember to equip the dragon scale. It is very important. I have certainly purchased a dragon scale and or picked up a fighter's ring and forgotten to equip it. It's not very helpful if you don't equip it.
Kongcakes again. Either finds an enemy above his weight class, or finds magicians or drakes that breathe fire immediately.
Tristal running into the AK-47 there.
We have the Armor Knight.
Results.
An enemy. Yeah, the results are obvious. An enemy, despite your great armor, is an endgame enemy. It's literally one tier below the strongest enemy in the game, and sends them packing in one ambush swing.
Yes, indeed.
How you miss a Mohawked pink armor man running towards you at full tilt and full plate mail is beyond me and get ambushed, but so be it.
And Kongcakes putting that sleep spell to good use. Putting the Drakey to sleep and finishing it off. Or can wake up.
In an early game, some scenes I've run where you had stop spells to get in the game, and it's kind of terrifying, and the slimes that hurt more, and the red slimes that hurt more, and you gotta realize that to get out of this initial, ditch you're in, you gotta use that stop spell. So don't forget you have the spells to get past it.
Yep, use that stop spell, use that sleep spell. Meanwhile, Mr. Holmes with the raid. Thank you very much, Mr. Holmes. Everyone go check out Mr. Holmes. We were watching the Dragon Warrior Randomizer tournament. Week 3. TristalMTG versus Kongcakes. Kongcakes going to level 3 now.
Alright, so Kongcakes now with a steady grind. Making a little progress. Tristal's doing a little exploring and shopping in town. The experience points up and flowing in as quickly, but now back to it as well.
Also, special shout out to SilverLuna2112 in chat. You may know her as Mrs. Emptyeye. She's going out and forging her own identity now.
Huzzah!
Oh, hi, honey!
Alright, so Kongcakes goes a bit too far to the east and finds the Rogue Scorpion again. Both the racers now staying by the castle and picking off small creatures for easy gains.
Yeah, it looks like both of our... Well, it looks like Tristal's gonna go back out and do a little bit more exploring.
Tristal strikes out to the east. What will they find? They will find whatever a Druid is. Still not sure what it is. Other than a mid-tier game that enemy that's currently lethal.
Yes. And Kongcakes, meanwhile, getting ambushed and Dragon Lord Breath by that Drakey.
Interesting little thing with the Dragon Lord, or the armor, I should say. The swamp tiles have a very high encounter rate, so Tristal can walk on those swamp tiles for free and get more enemies faster. Whereas Kongcakes can stay in the grasslands, which has the lowest encounter rate. So even that slows down the experience grind for Kongcakes.
Yes, indeed. To say nothing of the fact that with the additional levels, and especially Erdrick's armor, Tristal has a little bit better selection of enemies to choose from, a little bit more likely to be able to take out some of these earlier enemies, whereas Kongcakes is basically stuck killing red slimes 2 experience at a time. We're hoping to chip away at a ghost.
In chat, we have Pathurnos asking, shouldn't they be in the desert? And the question is, possibly. The desert has a higher encounter rate, for sure, yes. But there are enemies in the desert that might be stronger. Depending where the castle is in Zone 0, that might be the edge of the wall, it might be close there. Desert spaces might be too far to be safe for the castle. Especially with only, barehanded, no clothes, and a heal spell.
Yes, the castle is in Zone 0, but you don't necessarily know where in Zone 0 it is. It might be right on the corner of Zone 0. So you take one step outside, to the south or to the right, and suddenly, oh hey, hello, Armored Knight.
Tristal now getting all the enemies that are either run blocking or ambushing and breathing large gouts of flame. And despite the safety of Urza's armor, despite the damage reduction, still doing twice as many hit points as they have overall.
Yes, that level, that 18 HP at level 4, not exactly what you want to see.
And later on, we'll see those HP levels go up higher. Both runners using the little D. It's a strength HP build. So you sacrifice a little initial gain to have lower long-term gains, and those stats be higher in the end of the game.
Yes, indeed. And additionally, the randomizer is balanced such that typically the levels normalize such that you're ready to take on the Dragon Lord at about level 15 or level 16. Certainly not guaranteed, and certainly with particularly lucky stat gains get there a little earlier. You can also get there much, much later, but generally around 15 to 16 is where you really start looking to have a realistic shot to end the seed.
Kongcakes says, enough of this. I'm buying clothes and walking east. Whatever happens to me, so be it. Ponders. He's a Scorpion. Ponders. Could be a long fight, but I have the heal spell. I have options. Hits for 1, takes 4 back, says that's enough of that.
Let's find the Stones of Sunlight Cave. Freebie Cave. Finds an herb.
Alright, Kongcakes is that herb. Just gets level 5. Level 5, packing a huge HP boost. 16 hit points available at level 5.
Has to say nothing of the 11 power. So, as we said, HP was going to grow, and it certainly did there. Unfortunately, it did not grow enough to the point where Tristal can survive a Dragon.
Yes, Tristal, level 5, finds the first monster, shows off their newfound muscle, and gets lit on fire for the privilege. Who's the background, you say? In charge of our levels tonight, our tracker, Centroid41, our restreamer being the Muse Miniature. But don't blame Centroid for levels. Alright, Tristal heads a little farther out. Finds another Scorpion and no sleep.
Throw a stop spell at it. Good move, especially since it just tried to sleep him again. Now we'll see if he wants to spend the time trying to chip away at this Metal Scorpion 1 hit point at a time, and apparently he does.
It'd be worth it. Metal Scorpion is a pretty decent mid-tier enemy, and the enemy is skewed heavily towards sleep. They might try casting that, 75% of the time, based on their combat AI.
Yeah, if we can get the Metal Scorpion on screen here. Just looking at this, though, I would have to think it's 75% sleep. Oh, he also has baby breath.
Metal Scorpion's had enough. Metal Scorpion says, okay, fine, sleep's not working, let's melt things.
Alright, that, can't say I expected that.
Alright, we're gonna roll the dice now. Tristal can survive a fire breath, but can't survive 2 in a row. So has to ponder, do I risk rolling the dice on an attack roll, or do I heal up again?
Correct. We see actually 75% sleep, 75% fire. You might be wondering, but wait a minute, that's 150%. That doesn't work. That math has to be wrong.
Metal Scorpion exists beyond the pale.
Yes. So the way these skills work is an enemy can have up to 2 skills, and if it has 2 skills, it will have a chance to use the first skill, in this case 75% sleep. If it does not use the first skill, it then has a chance to use the second skill, which in this case is 75% fire. So it's basically 75% fire given that sleep was not used. And then if it doesn't opt to use the second skill after that, it will just attack or...
Alright, while we're doing
You don't
heavy...
know how running away factors into that calculation. If that's an entirely separate calculation or not.
Yeah, the courage morale check is a totally different thingamajig. Meanwhile, while we were doing the imaginary numbers for the 75% being less than 100, Kongcakes has found Cole as the armor. So now both of them are on even terms of protection. Armor Knight, as we were talking about this, also has a very weak spell loadout. So once they can survive being the occasional hit back from the axe, it'll be a pretty free grind later on.
Yes, indeed.
Of course, in that regard, most RPG maps are torbuses. If you go to the top and to the bottom, it's not a circle. It's not a sphere. It's a torbus.
Yes, indeed. Yes, they would be donuts, I suppose.
Alrighty, so both the racers now have Urge armor and are abusing that privilege by fighting enemies in the mid-tier. They can take a punch back, they can grind through these hard fights, scorpions and wraiths, respectively.
Yeah. Tristal more so because he has the club and he's gotten that big strength boost from level 5. Kongcakes still trying to chip away at the scorpion here. Gets the critical hit. 6. But 6 is enough to take it out.
That's both racers now fought a scorpion. Metal in Tristal's case, normal in Kongcakes' case, that they've basically fought it for 8 rounds straight until he, fished the critical out and got it.
And looked like he was going to try to buy a club there, but not enough gold.
Ooh, the Wraith showing is a little nasty, a little more dangerous. It's got dodge ability, it's got a pretty high attack power, and it's actually run Tristal out of gas. And survives combat, so a full power Tristal cannot finish off a Wraith.
Yeah, unfortunately not being only able to do, looked like 1 to 3 might have been his damage range there.
Yeah, the skeleton enemies all have a dodge chance, including the obnoxious Demon Knight at the end of the tier, which has all the dodge chance in the game.
It really does. The actual dodge rate on a Demon Knight is a shade under a quarter. It's 15 out of 64. Even though that has been confirmed diving into the ROM, I'm not convinced that's actually true. It feels like a lot higher than that.
Yes, those numbers are filthy lies. I will not believe them. I have missed 3 in a row before. It just doesn't happen. Also, they're pretty much resistant to most magic. They don't sleep, they don't stop spell, they don't really get hurt. So they're basically immune to effects, and you gotta swing them and hope they don't dodge you 3 times straight.
Yes, I think 4 times straight is my personal record, so...
Kongcakes grinding back home, getting closer to level 5. Tristal, meanwhile, still has some Wanderlust and is finding higher end enemies which are dangerous. Snowman has a pretty weak sleep resist, though, so that's a free pass there.
Yes, I think it's something like a 1/8 resistance to sleep, which means a 7 out of 8 chance it'll hit. So you can pull the sleep and run until such time as you think you're strong enough to take it out.
Snowman has a very high hit point total, so they're pretty strong and they have a lot of hit points, so it's a matter of, do you want to spend the 4, 5, 6 rounds of combat with them to whittle them down? Alternatively, you find the blue dragon, which doesn't care about sleep, and is going to destroy them, because running away from them is pretty hard.
Yes, especially with only 24 agility. At level 5.
Kongcakes was a foul of a magician, who used the fire breath and finished them off as well. So both of them are still running into enemies that are either high-powered abilities or endgame caliber.
Yes, the Warrior Randomizer does. As you're seeing, randomize enemy abilities. It doesn't randomize... It also randomizes stop spell resistance, but otherwise it doesn't randomize their stats at all. So that's why they can still defeat Drakeys, magicians, etc. with the same number of attacks, really, they would expect to be able to ordinarily.
That said, if you want to have randomized stats, you download the randomizer and try on chaos mode. And they're all out of whack. Random prices, random shops, random enemies, random stats. DL1 might be the final boss, because DL1 could be a monster.
Yes. Meanwhile, Tristal going to level 6, getting 0 agility! I love it!
Still can't run. Kongcakes hits 5 as well.
Yes, I should point out what I said there about the enemy stats is with what we call the standard flag set. There are other flags where you can just randomize absolutely everything. This used to be called Chaos Mode. The new versions of the randomizer, those have been broken out into individual flags. So you can have as much or as little chaos as you'd like.
There's options for a big swamp, there's options for a vanilla map, there's options for alternate win conditions. There's Three's Company, and there's, I forgot the name of the one where you get the Princess of Belt. But basically, there's different ways to win the game. So rather than doing the full thing, you just, say the Princess bring the Charlock, or give her, of course, it. If you want to play, no Charlock, and do short Charlock, so you walk in the front door of Charlock, and you're on the bottom floor already. So you have all kinds of ways to speed the game up or slow it down, as you desire.
Yep, there's even open Charlock, which is you don't need the 3 key items to access Charlock. Just right open.
Alright, both the racers down the same general area. In all reality, have not seen much of the world. They've seen a little bit north to Charlock, gone down south to Cole, and they found Breckenary in the swamp there. Other than that, they haven't seen much besides these 3 screens of map.
Yeah, exploration has been hard to come by in this seed. As you mentioned, you're either running into endgame enemies or you're running into stuff that has Dragon Lord Breath, which despite Erdrick's armor will still one-shot you at this juncture.
Like that Armor Knight. Alright, Crystal, with low success in combat, is upgrade to a copper sword.
Yep, it's going to give him an extra 6 attack power over the club he was wielding. It's a 10 attack power weapon altogether.
Alright, Kongcakes meets their first male scorpion and learns very quickly they have sleep and baby breath. And once you're asleep, enemies skip that part of the ability check. So if sleep's first on the menu, and you're already asleep, they'll go right to the second check and see the fire or attack.
Yes, which in this case is a 75% chance at that point. So. I believe that also works if Stop Spell is the first skill on the list, and Stop Spell hits, they won't try casting it again. As a non-factor in this case, both our runners have Erdrick's armor, so they're immune to Stop Spell, in which case they can and oftentimes will repeatedly try to cast it ineffectively.
Tristal, the newfound attack power of the sword, takes down a Druid Lord and gets level 7. Suddenly hit points. Suddenly heal more.
Suddenly heal more, yes. Big hit point boost. Heal more going to be very nice as well, although not a whole lot of MP to utilize it.
Panther knows if you want to amuse yourself with Chaos Torment and other shenanigans, not to toot my own horn, but watch the race between me and Z-Man last year, and you'll see just how bad some enemies can get. You had a spike tile with a Wraith that was the god of all gods.
Yes, if you like chipping down an 80 hit point enemy 1 hit point at a time, as it in turn also hits you for 0 to 1 damage, and your end result, your reward is 4 experience, then Maximum Chaos is the mode for you.
Been there, done that.
Chaos is the mode you just have to roll with it and laugh at it, because otherwise you are going to cry.
Still find the Demon Knight we mentioned before. Again, Demon Knight ignores most spells and has a very high dodge chance. That's a little squishy. It's pretty fragile compared to most endgame enemies.
And we have McGrew in the chat. McGrew, the main architect of the Dragon Warrior Randomizer. So, everybody make sure you give him a follow and a shout out as well.
Yes, fortunately, this Demon Knight is, got a spell book, learned Hurt, and wants to show everybody what it learned today. So it's casting Hurt a lot, which is nice because it's very slow, very weak attack. Especially the armor on it actually cuts it in half.
Yep, and Tristal does in fact defeat that Demon Knight. A nice, excellent move there. Oh, finds a Metal Slime. Unfortunately, going to, because his strength is 35, this Metal Slime has a high chance of running away, but we'll see if he can pull this off. Well, there's 2 damage. Sticking around. And he gets it. Wow.
Ooh, get richer.
Experience advantage, but now he's got quite the experience advantage. Although, see Kongcakes heading up into that area as well. Hey, there's that agility. 20 agility. This is a different area with the forest.
So a little bit north we find the Jerk Cave, which you need to have all 3 items. The Staff of Rain, the Stones of Sunlight, the Earth's Token, become the Rainbow Drop to end the game and get access to the Charlock.
Yes, in order to get the Staff of Rain, our runners have to find the Silver Harp and trade that in for the Staff of Rain.
Get that level up for Tristal, actually giving them agility higher than their strength, so they've totally caught back up in that stat regard. Kongcakes meanwhile fighting this wolf, trying to squeak out last little bit of combat. Ooh! Thought they had the combat in the bag, wolf dodged. Finished them off.
The dodges. But yes, now with 45 agility, Tristal is at least a slight favorite to be able to run away from anything except for an Armored Knight and a Red Dragon.
This game as well, agility is tied to defense power. So if an enemy is a high defense, like a Scorpion of high defense, the Golem was high defense, but more hit points than anything else. But surely the Scorpions are the example where they are taking a little bit less damage because they have high defense, or agility in this case, and they're hard to run from because they're that fast. Because to make that agility be a defense power, it's got to be high. So it's one of those like weird tie-in things where you wouldn't think a Scorpion's too fast, but it can get in your way and block you really hard.
Yes, if you've ever wondered why it was hard to run from things in Dragon Warrior Original, there you go.
Ooh! Bright Knights also have Dragon Lord Breath, with the ambush of Kongcakes.
Ouch, indeed. Question in chat, do Metal Slimes run when your strength is 20 exactly? I believe the answer is yes, but I don't know that for a fact. I know they stay around if it's less than 20. I don't know what happens at exactly 20, to be honest.
Yeah, 20 is cut off. I've not actually tried at 20 myself. I couldn't say. Ooh, at the very edge of the world, we have a cave.
Just hanging out there. Let's see if Tristal can get there. Between the Copper Sword and the Frederick's armor shouldn't be a problem. He does make it over there.
It's dark and spooky in here.
Swamp South.
Swamp South, alright, so... Swamp Cave is a very easy cave to walk through, even in the dark. Basically, you can go right...
in the dark.
Yeah, right, up, left, all the way up the staircase. I see the agility come into play here. Magic Weapon is one of the stronger, overworld enemies. And a werewolf is a Charlock class enemy. We'll see if they get away from this attack as well. And they do.
Yeah, gonna play it safe, gonna use the herb.
It's a whole new world now.
Yep. Escapes to somewhere.
Our Swamp Cave attaches 2 continents together. The world maps now, in the new version of the Randomizer, can be split into continents much more commonly. Sometimes they're attached together, and they're not like it's a cave from one spot to another spot in the world, like behind Tangel or behind Garanham. But otherwise, it might take you to another continent entirely. So there might be parts of this world that are only over here. So if an important item is found only here, you can go to Swamp Cave to find it. Swamp Cave also has a princess in the jail cell on the right side, which have keys. You can fight a boss monster, save her, bring her to the castle. You GPS it up to figure out where you are on the map.
Yes, which can be useful because there is a chance there will be an item hidden somewhere on the overworld. And you find out where that item is by visiting a villager in Cantlin who gives you a set of coordinates. And you can either try to count that out or you can utilize the GPS to gather your location. Also, Tristal getting 0 agility! Oh, I love it! With level 9 there.
That's just karma from the last level. Yeah, so again, fighting enemies with the defense power, no magic. So once they're out of gas, they're out of gas. They're relying on the armor to heal them as they walk. But they're making pretty good progress. Oh, Z-Man, there's been so much fire breath. So much fire breath.
Yep. A lot of fire breath, and as you can see, not a lot of hit points early on. So even with Erdrick's armor, that Dragon Lord breath is still going to one-shot poor Kongcakes here.
Yeah, Tristal in the desert now. The desert having a high encounter rate as well. So you're seeing a lot of, every 2 steps getting into a combat fight. Level 7 for Kongcakes.
Let's get level 7, that's the one with the big HP boost.
That's HP is boost, level 8 speed boost. Oh. And back at Breckenary.
Breckenary, so it looks like this is actually just one big continent. Unless he went back through Swamp again and I missed it, but I'm pretty sure that's not what happened.
Nope, they walked the west to the south and we're back in the swamp of Breckenary. So one big fancy map. So all the Swamp Cave does for you is move you one screen to the north and have a princess there somewhere. Consolation prize? Small shield.
Small shield, I believe, an extra 4 defense power, which is not nothing.
And Kongcakes doing the incredible feat of escaping from an armored knight at 20 agility in the first try.
It is not an easy thing to do.
And does it again.
Yes, much like the Demon Knight and its slightly under 1/4 dodge rate. While we know what the formulas are for running away, it's tied to your agility versus enemy agility, I believe. Several runners not convinced it actually makes a difference.
Alright, Tristal striking out again. Different directions. Ooh, runs into the Golem, which is one of the stronger, basically an end-tier enemy of the game. There's quite a few endgame enemies with very weak abilities, which could be a benefit later on.
Yes, Golem with hurt. In the vanilla game, the Golem is actually a mini-boss. I believe there's only the one guarding Cantlin in the game. Here in the randomizer, you can just find him hanging out anywhere.
Also in the vanilla game, he gives like 5 experience points and a little bit of gold. We cranked out the maximum experience points available, and a very small amount of gold. Because it's a long fight, it's very powerful. If it actually attacks you, it's one of the higher attack ranges in the game. It's a very angry beast.
Remakes, starting with the Super Famicom version and continuing to the Game Boy Color, etc. The exception is if an enemy would give you more than 255 experience or gold, because the NES stores that in an 8-bit number. The maximum it can give you is 255.
The one real change, I believe, is the Spectre, which gave very, very poor experience points for the effort. And they've updated that very nicely. Oh, Kongcakes almost gets to a town and sees a red dragon. Red dragon has a stop spell and gets escaped from.
Crystal finding Garenham.
And Kongcakes finding Hawksnest.
Shop. Oh, here's Hawksnest. And there's the Fun Police with stop spell.
Okay, so another endgame enemy with a very good chance to let you out the hook. Armor Knight and Golem have hurt, and Dragon has stop spell.
Yeah, unfortunately, with only 25 agility, we might be here a while.
When it does decide to attack you, it's really, really ugly.
Yes, indeed. Also, Z-Man, one of the, I guess, agility skeptics in the chat, saying 25 agility, they're surprised Kongcakes didn't get the first chance run.
Alright, overall, thankfully, the early game enemies had really terrible abilities, like a really nasty Dragon Lord Breath and Sleep. Endgame enemies can be really soft and pushovers, but they still have that stat line. So once they're leveled up, it'll be pretty fun to fight them. Until then, you kind of hope you get away before they decide to, oh, I'll just punch you and watch you fall over.
Yes, indeed.
Hey, agility is very important. You need a certain amount of agility and defense power to not be hit for 49 by Dragon Lord. Those numbers are solid and in stone.
Yes, indeed. The way your attack power and defense power work, strength is directly correlated with your attack power. 1 point of strength is an extra point of attack power, plus whatever weapon you have. Defense power is also directly correlated with your agility, but it's every 2 agility points is good for 1 defense point. Again, plus the defense rating of your armor and shield.
Yes, that all being said, I've rolled my share of dice playing, tabletop games, and I know there's supposed to be a 1 in 6 chance of rolling anything on dice. And I don't roll more 6s than I roll 1s. So sometimes RNG is not your favor. Now, Accident Allies, I'm a terror, because I roll nothing but 1s. That's incredibly good. Alright, Tristal heading a little far on the map now, as is Kongcakes. Tristal has a benefit of the Copper Sword, and 2 more levels of stats. So Kongcakes is kind of walking around underpowered a bit. But we're 40 minutes in the seed. They gotta find something. None of them have found any of the critical items of the game besides the armor. The ring's still out there. Drop token, harp. None's been found. Both caves are still available, and we haven't seen Rumbledar or Cantlin.
Yep, Death Necklace also out there. Wolf Lords have sleep.
Even better. Poor Kongcakes, this armor knight is skipping around him.
Alright.
Oh no.
I was gonna say, it looks like they don't have too much other than that, but I was wrong.
And Kongcakes, being trolled by this armor knight who's skipping around him, throwing tiny little fireballs at him, annoying him. Can't run away, just keeps getting in his face and hit him for 6 damage or 5 damage with a hurt spell. Finally gets away.
And Tristal putting that stop spell to good use, blocking the Wolf Lord sleep.
Attila is right. The hurt spell, most enemies that hurt resist don't get hit by hurt spells too often. Metal Slime, Dragon Lord 2, notably, have a 15-16 resistance to hurt spell. It can affect them. 1/15 chance of being affected, and the damage range remains steady. So no matter how strong or weak you are, those spells have a set damage range. So if you hit a Dragon Lord with hurt more, and it goes through and actually connects, it's still doing around 60 damage to him.
Yes, indeed. So if you find yourself in a situation where you either are guaranteed to win because you have so much extra MP, or you have done the math poorly and you realize, oh, I have no way I can attack the Dragon Lord through to death, you throw the Hail Mary, chuck out a couple hurt more, see what happens. You might get lucky.
Alrighty. Kongcakes approaching what I believe ends up being the Jerk Cave.
Kongcakes just also killed the Metal Slime.
Yeah, so they both have gotten a Metal Slime kill, which evens out pretty well over the seed. Bashed, I've already mentioned before the sheer lunacy of a mohawked, neon pink plate mailed beast charging you in an open field, ambushing you. How that happens is beyond me. But if they can do it, a stone man can do it.
I guess that's fair.
Not to mention the one doing, handsprings and cartwheels around Kongcakes while trying to run away and hit with fireballs.
Tristal looks like an explore toward the southeast corner of the map here. And nothing there.
Yep. Far away from home, Tristal finds another Wolf Lord, finds another sleep spell, and now finds some Hurtmores. Alright, Wolf Lord.
There's some spells.
Ooh, level
10.
Alright, level 10. Cash in Hurtmore. Oh, and Radiant, I suppose. But yes, Hurtmore, definitely the big boom there.
Yes. About to say this Wraith Knight about to get what for? Unfortunately, Tristal down to 2 magic points is less than what you require to cast Hurtmore. One of the other quality of life improvements in the randomizer is the MP requirements have also been adjusted to that of the remake, which a lot of the time means they cost slightly less than they did ordinarily. Hurtmore costs 5 to cast in the randomizer, whereas I believe it was 8 in the game.
I think both the Moors were 8 and 8. And the Healmore remains 8 for randomizer, but Hurtmore is down to 5.
I believe Healmore is actually 10 in the vanilla game, but regardless.
Oh, it's 10? How about that? Oh, there's still 10 in the Game Boy remake. I recall playing that one and being being easier.
Hurtmore is 5 in both, really? Huh. Okay.
Ooh. Yeah, Hurtmore is one of those spells where, by the time you learn it, you're probably, why do I have this in the vanilla game? Like, I don't need the spell. I have Urge's Sword and, giant muscles. But the randomizer can really save your butt level 2, level 3.
Yes, exactly. In randomizer, Hurtmore, and even regular Hurt, if you get it early enough, both very useful. Whereas, as Seawolf pointed out, in the vanilla game, by the time you get Hurtmore, either you are killing everything in 1 or at most 2 hits, or if there's an enemy you actually would want to use Hurtmore on, it is probably resistant to it. So it's really a rather useless spell, unfortunately. Strap pointing out in chat, the exception is if you're deciding to do a no equipment run in the vanilla game. People have done.
Alright, both now exploring pretty well the whole world. Kongcakes catching up at level 9 now, having the tap power and the sword. Keep pace. Tristal will be getting severe boosted experience points now. They find something they're able to blow up, they will destroy it in one shot with the spell. So basically, their exploration now, if they want to repel and avoid weak enemies, that's great. They want to engage the strong enemies with Hurtmore, fantastic. But they haven't died yet, so they're basically going to walk around until they either die or run out of, or get to a town to go to an inn.
Yes, indeed. Silver Luna pointing out she hears a Mario. She is referring to my cat, Mario the cat, who is behind me and to my left here. Might be able to hear his collar rattling. There's the Spark over bridge, the bridge to a single tile over on Tristal's side.
Oh boy. Come on, search it. No, go back.
Oh, Tristal, go back.
Alright, so remains unverified until further notice. We will find that spot and we will search it later.
So hopefully Kongcakes will come across it. One day the Spark Over Bridge will actually hide the item. One day.
The odds are the same every seed. You gotta have a spark over a bridge, you gotta lay it on there. It'd be a great, glorious day when it happens. But until then, we keep checking. Alright, Kongcakes heading basically around the swamp cave exit. By going around that little bend there through the desert, they're basically the swamp cave pops out.
So we're about 15 minutes in. We would probably do a recap at this point, but frankly, there's not much to recap. Frederick's armor wasn't cold. That's about the extent of what we know right now.
Recap is the fellas comb the desert in Spaceballs. We can't say that here. There's a certain threshold of PG rating we're trying to maintain. But yes, that basically applies. We have not found much of anything.
Correct. Crystal saw Hawksness gonna nope out with his lack of MP. Kongcakes found Hawksness earlier, but got Red Dragoned, if I recall correctly, before he could see what was over there. It was in the mini-boss spot.
Yeah, Tristal has the gear. It has the MP, though. Again, Tristal's been walking the world with 2 M points, magic points, and has not done anything. So, unfortunately, they can't go in there and... they probably go in there and destroy whatever's waiting for them. So they're out of gas.
Yes, either until they have to warp back to the castle or until they find another town they can stay in and in at. Crystal is just gonna keep hero walking, I guess.
Yeah, Tristal is too strong to die and too, I guess, not lazy to sleep in. Has not found any more towns.
Level 11, 0 agility! I love it!
Alright, we continue. Levels are gained. Stats are climbed up towards endgame level. We're approaching that spot in time where you should be around, 80-something strength, 60-something agility. HP slowly getting there after a few dead levels, a few big levels. Imgrew, nothing found so far. We're waiting to find a few caves. Rimildar, maybe the back of Garanham, maybe the treasury. Kongcakes, meanwhile, sent home by an armored knight, far to the stretch of the north there. Now, both of our racers are probably panicking now because they realize they're an hour into the race and they've not found anything. And you assume you're playing against Tristal, playing against Kongcakes. Guess what? They're probably in Charlock right now. Actually, we're missing 2 towns still. We haven't seen Rimildar or Cantlin.
Yeah, and those are the 2 big ones.
I mean, Cole was kind of important. Had the armor and all. No, it's alright. You're right. You did speak Cantlin. You were correct. It's been like a half hour, so I forgot.
I actually don't remember seeing Cantlin, but I'll take your word for it.
No, I do recall, I think Tristal walked into it, didn't have enough money for the inn, and didn't want to buy anything, so they walked right back out. Oh, it's Kongcakes. Alright, so Kongcakes found that town elsewhere. Tristal's not found Cantlin yet. Now with a full tank of gas, heads into Hawksness. What awaits us?
That's what it is. Oh, it's a snowman. Put it to sleep. I would have to think he's going to... Oh, he's gonna try hurt more. Okay.
Alright, Snowman has pretty decent hurt more resist, but also a boatload of hit points. So swinging with the copper sword, 20 times, it might not be viable.
There's one. He's gonna need at least 2 and probably 3 hurt mores. And there's a second one. Oh, wow. And he
Not shabby.
finds the fairy flute.
Ah, alright, so a several grind spot. Future use if you have to. And the Fairy Flute, which will save you versus a Golem. The Golem appears to know only hurt, so the Golem might not be a big deal.
Yep. We really haven't seen very many chests, so we don't know if the token is going to be in a chest or if it's going to be on the coordinates.
Yes, we've seen 4 chests. We've seen the free chest in the Sunstone Cave, and we've seen the treasury in the throne room, I should say. So we've seen basically vanilla open chests. The rest are all behind doors or in caves we have not seen yet. And those caves are probably behind either Garanham's door or Potential's basement. So they're probably buried behind the keys too. Kongcakes north of Charlock. They're trying to strike out probably the north and east. Crystal heading south and east.
Okay, there we go. We're just editing my push-to-talk settings here. I got sick of throwing Z's into the restreamer chat. So, we're good now.
Fair enough. Alright, Crystal finds a town in the desert. Needs to be our Canton that we missed before. For Glorious Wimbledar. There's Cantlin.
Cantlin?
It's so real.
Check out, maybe try to find a broadsword, large shield combo here, I would imagine. 3,000 gold.
Now, Kongcakes fighting this wolf. A little slow, but taking care of business. Kongcakes has a, what's the change here? 1,000 point differential of experience points. Endgame, that's 4 or 5 fights. But right now, it's a pretty big hurdle.
Tristal does find a broadsword. Gonna, I presume, stay at the inn, maybe restock his herb supply. No, it looks like he's just gonna stay at the inn because he just cast Repel.
Yep, Cantlin has the Motel 6000. Costs a bit more than the Motel 6.
It's the the Luxor Hotel. I don't know, it's a luxury hotel. That sounds good.
And the Kongcakes again. Hits level 10, gets that hurt more, so now they're both on even terms in terms of damage dealing. Besides that broadsword, of course.
Yes, the broadsword will be helpful. It's an extra 10 attack power over the copper sword he had. That's an extra, roughly 2 to 5 extra damage he'll be doing to various enemies.
Accents down south. They explode so well to hurt more. Kongcakes runs into a blue dragon. Probably sits in the back of the castle. May try different directions.
Yep, see how that works out for him.
Just going back to the inn after engaging Axe Knights and casting many hurt mores.
Crystal. Going back to Cantlin, casting Repel. So, Repel is a spell that lasts for a certain number of steps. And the way it works is there's a calculation done that I honestly don't know the particulars of. But basically, if an enemy is too weak, you just won't encounter it at all. So it kind of lowers your encounter rate for low-level zones.
It effectively does the combat check with the enemy. If the enemy is a certain level of, I believe, strength or lower than yours, the encounter doesn't happen. So it doesn't even like make the it could force encounters to be a higher level power, but instead simply ignores the encounter entirely. So lets you walk freely. If you're looking for a certain spot on the map where you want to get, go to the castle the 25th time that you died, and you want to walk back and you're angry about it, just cast Repel, and the first few zones will be free. There we go. Muse puts there. Defense breaking. So once your defense power is high enough, the enemy does the lower damage formula against you. The enemy will not engage you in combat.
Yes, and you should briefly describe defense breaking. So normally there's a formula used that is essentially an enemy will do between X and 2X damage per attack to you. If you are defense breaking the enemy, the game instead uses a completely different formula, which is 0 to Y, and Y is a much lower number than the previous 2X would be. So that is what is meant by defense break. I am joined by my co-commentator, Mario the Cat. Say hi, Mario.
Alright, both are racers in the same general map spot. So all that walking around, they finally converge on Rimmildar. We got keys, so finally we have access to many locked areas.
Yes, this is really going to open the game up here. Be able to see, A, what's behind this chest in Rimmildar, and then B, really every other chest in the game, essentially. Oh, Mario climbing back up on here. Hi, Mario.
So, cat. Oop, the cave right there to the north as well. So, first off, always check the Rimmildar chest. Very important detail. Alright, pays off on the death necklace. Either a whole lot of money to sell, or equip yourself to get plus 10 attack power, minus 25% hit points, and a lovely curse.
Yes, in the vanilla game, the death necklace just curses you and otherwise does nothing. The curse, what happens is when you die, the king does not heal you. I believe you respawn with 1 hit point, and the king is like, yeah, GTFO. And whatever MP you had, that's the MP you have at that point.
One race that I did by accident, I put on during a fight, and I had to find, I didn't know where Breckenary was. Breckenary is where the old man that uncurse you is, and I had to search the world with dwindling supplies to find myself, the old man to free me from the curse. It was terrifying.
Yes, in the vanilla game, Breckenary is about 5 steps away from the castle, so it's not a huge deal, but you also have no reason to put on the death necklace. In Randomizer, you do, because the death necklace in Randomizer gives you an extra 10 attack power at the cost of 25% of your max HP. So there are certain seeds where that is definitely what you want to do, and there are other seeds where it's definitely not what you want to do, depending on how the growths kind of shake out.
Alrighty, stones in the top, level 2 top chests of the mountain cave has the stone. There we go. Progress.
Looks like the Fighter's Ring also available here in the Mountain Cave.
And the one spell that's missing now is outside. To walk all the way back out of this cave. Or die into a death warp and try to get a gold grind going.
See if they can get a gold grind going, because they opened all 5 chests. They can do that. I believe they know both a flame sword and a silver shield are available in the town in Cole. And Tristal gonna put on the Fighter's Ring for an extra 2 attack power. In the vanilla game, the Fighter's Ring is actually bugged. It does absolutely nothing. Looks cool, I suppose. Here they have restored it to its intended functionality of basically being the counterpart to the Dragon Scale, an extra 2 attack power. Which, depending on where your attack power falls, that extra 2 attack power can actually be very helpful at the end of the game.
Yep, let's see. There's the treasury, there's the basement here, and there's Garenham's back door and the Garen's grave. So plenty of spots to find that silver heart. Gold grind is on.
Tristal immediately finds the gold grind. Oh, finds, okay. Just found a club. It is not
A free club. It's not
Yes.
a club.
He gets a corset for Sparkover. Alright, fair enough. And this may or may not be a corset. It's a dragon scale.
Alright, get your grind on. Time for infinite money.
Meanwhile, it looks like Kongcakes is trying to do a death warp out of here. Not really working out for him. There we go.
Alright, so Urge's armor, unfortunately, has the benefit of healing you sometimes. And when you're strong, mid-end game, and you want Death Warp to get to a Death Castle for a gold grind, sometimes you can't die. Because the enemies are too weak, and your defense power is too high, you heal every step you take.
Indeed. Question in chat, have we seen the Silver Shield? We have. We have seen actually all three of the best purchasable items down in coal.
Now, if all is gold, Tristal will take time to go to the basement and see what's there first, or simply go back and buy the stuff.
Gonna save, hold on to that gold. So one thing we briefly went over is that for whatever reason, when you obtain items from the chest glitch, the item text is not the actual item that's in the chest. My best guess is that the game, I hate to say it gets confused, but clearly it's pointing to the wrong location in memory. And it's just grabbing something it's not supposed to be grabbing at that point.
Yeah, we fixed a original bug with Urge's Sword being one of the possible names. Gru took care of that one because I did a race one time and like, Urge's Sword, awesome! And I ran out the castle all excited and didn't have Urge's Sword. I had an herb. So sometimes it can flee.
Why am I still only doing 2 damage to this slime with Urdrick's Sword?
Oh, it's a Scalapore. Oh. Yes, both our races are doing the same trick. They're going to get a lot of gold, enough to buy the best shield, Silver Shield, and the Flame Sword, which will be a good standby until they find Urge's Sword. Tristal has done so. It is all stacked up and geared. And is heading downstairs.
TD Improv noting they got the Urdrick's armor once as a glitch. Outside of such fun nonsense like the Sword Magidrak or the Axe Ghost, my personal favorite is actually finding the Ball of Light in a chest. Ball of Light, of course, being the sort of MacGuffin of the whole game that the Dragon Lord has stolen. You get back at the very end after you defeat it.
I believe in this case it's the McGruffin. Alrighty, Tablet Cave is below Tatangel, so 1 free chest waiting at the bottom. Tablet Cave is actually a scary cave. There's no monsters. It means if you get lost and you're in the dark, it could be a problem.
Yep, the Tablet Cave being the other freebie cave. But if you're trying to walk through in the dark and you do take a wrong turn, that means you have to just figure out where you took the wrong turn and try to stumble your way back.
Only fairy water down there, and it's actually fairy water, so nothing of use. Just at this point in the game, down the basement. Kongcakes will find out in about 20 seconds as well. Make it 30 seconds. The Scar's again. Get in the way.
NPCs are the true final boss.
It's mentioned in Undertale at one point. The old turtle salesman makes fun of the game's meta for saying, well, I'm in the menu right now, and you can't get to me, so haha. And along the back here, I'm safe. Dragon Warrior NPCs are the same thing. Like, as long as they're in the castle or on a map, you can't stop them, you can't touch them, you can't push them. They can do what they want to, and you can't do anything. Alrighty, so Tristal heading back towards Garanham, I would imagine, for the back door, 3 chests, and the basement downstairs below Garanham.
Yes, that seems like the smart play. Looks like Kongcakes is going to try to...
Bonk, bonk, bonk.
Yes, bonking through the cave he was in. Looks like Tablet Cave, I'm guessing. Yep, there's a fairy water.
Yeah, for reference point, Kongcakes has Radiant, so it's unless they haven't memorized, this is merely a matter of stubbornness.
Alright, trying to make the veteran move of just saving time wherever you can. Which against a runner of Crystal's caliber is not a terrible decision, quite honestly.
This is actually the far north and east of the map to find Garanham again. So the castle is pretty situated far northeast as well, so that one quadrant is your starting point. And a lot of the world still remains to the west. They're probably hoping to find everything they want to in Garanham, otherwise it's going to be a really crazy hunt to find that last chest somewhere, the last cave.
Right.
Oh, the wall.
The NPC wall.
That was all 2 layers. That would have been fantastic.
Wings. Torch. Woohoo. Drop the dragon scale for the torch. And get some gold.
And gold, so no free lunch. Ah, yes, Kongcakes apparently missed the gold grind by a few extra numbers, and is just now returning to buy the flame sword.
Ooh, okay then. And this is going to be the grave here.
Darren's grave in Garaham. Blame your randomizer creator of choice.
Yes. I just like to say in general, do you even randomize, bro?
Alright, so Garen's grave, you have 3 in the top there, 3 chests. You have 2 layers down, you have 1 in a up left corner, and then all at the bottom of the grave is 1 last chest. Alright, not much on the top there. We're going deeper.
Yep, we're going down. Also, worth pointing out, there is a locked door guarding those last 2 chests in the grave. So our runners do have keys. So a non-factor at this point. But if you happen to find the grave early, it's something to keep in mind.
It makes it risky. Mid-game it makes it dangerous, because enemies in the grave can be powerful. So you have to decide, do I want to burn this key and then risk dying on the way down? There's the harp.
The harp. Thank you, Mr. Holmes. I appreciate it.
We joked before in our the pregame chat that between my ability to make seeds last 3 hours long and Emptyeye's levels, this will be a nice long grind. We're still diving further because the sword might be down there, and you want Urger's sword. Token also as possible as well. 2 cursed belts were found, I think. Maybe not, but still at large.
We've seen 1 cursed belt. I don't know if we've seen 2, but let's take a look.
No, we saw 2, but one is a fake. It was actually a dragon skill.
Right, okay. And it's a torch.
Alright, nothing doing, so... Deep Grave is a bust, but you need to go 1 level down to find that extra little... silver harp. Kind of important.
Yeah. So, are there any overworld chests that we haven't seen yet? I don't believe there are.
Don't think so. We have the overworld space on the map somewhere, and Charlock. The harp is in this cave. The harp was level 2, Garen's grave.
Alright, so that means I believe by process of elimination, the Erdrick's token has to be in. There have to be coordinates, and Erdrick's token has to be there, since we've checked every single chest, and it's come up empty so far.
The sword's in Charlock somewhere. So the question is now, are we in the treasury? Or are we vanilla?
Indeed, and we'll talk a little bit more about that as we get to Charlock.
Yeah, that'd be normally terrifying, but in this seed, the enemies seem to be pretty tame for Charlock. All the big three enemies seem to be packing like hurt and stop spell. So Charlock might not be as terrifying as it usually is. Alright, Tristal heads back out, escapes the deep parts of the grave, goes to the inn. Alright, Kongcakes walking the world. Not sure what they're looking for. I would assume they're looking for Garanham, but might not be having luck finding it.
Oh, I think they're going farther away from it, not closer to it. So
Yeah, there's a chance that Kongcakes did not find Garanham before, because Kongcakes was having that hard time getting out of the initial area, and a much harder opening grind than Tristal.
Well, Tristal gonna take on this golem.
You know, as well, it's fairly soft hitting. You know, if it actually hits you for real. Defense power is basically endgame defense power now, so not get much better than this.
Yep, and he does take it out to get that juicy 255 experience. And trade Silver Harp now for the Staff of Rain.
Silver Harp Cave is just to the west of Garanham, so it'll be a fast trade-in. Your cave's a bit northeast of Charlock, and basically you're free to go down there and find those chests, grind the top there, or find yourself a spike tile. But, as I said that foolishly, I forgot. Token is still in
The
play.
token is, yes, to take a detour to Cantlin and get those coordinates. And we'll see if this is looking like a princess seed or not.
Let's see. Maybe in Jersey you have taking spot for a fantasy football league? Apparently more guys dropped out. Any takers?
I'm not a fantasy football guy myself, but maybe someone here is.
I tell everybody I talk to, like, I used to have a football team that I liked really good. They were the Giants. They were bad for like 10 years, so I stopped following them. I learned fantasy football and became a mercenary. I'm on team running back. Go running backs. Kongcakes, now fully loaded, heads back to Hawk's Nest. Hoping to find an easy token. We'll find the flute.
And, wow, that level. First off, and most importantly, of course, another 0 agility! I love it! But Crystal's gonna like that double-digit strength gain and the 35 magic points he got out of that.
Alright, solve the magic problem. Alright, Z, fair game. If you get the jersey for the 25th, next Sunday, 1 p.m., bring some food. We'll get you a spot. Let's be fair, no, I'm not going to go ranting about during the Dragon Warrior broadcast here, but it's just D&D football players for pieces. That's all it is. You're being a nerd. Just being a nerd wearing a helmet. Alright, Future Sight 23 asks, how many times have we had 0 agility this seed?
I believe it's been 4 or 5, quite frankly.
It's pretty impressive.
Yes, indeed.
Alright, Crystal's in the Swamp Cave. Going to preemptively save the princess. Say, nope, we're doing one swoop. We're going to get the princess. We got the coordinates. We're going to go back to the castle. Very important that Kongcakes is still not using repel, and thus is being attacked by enemies that have sleep and are wasting time.
Indeed. Meanwhile, Tristal, no problem with that Golem.
Yes, so Squishy Golem guards the princess.
And it looks like he's gonna fight the golem again on the way out. Oh, okay. Looks like it. Oh, looks like is it actually an Axe Knight? That's the Guardian. All right.
Well, the Golem was in the cave, and not actually the spike tile.
Okay, fair enough. Oh, and he's gonna do a little mini grind here on this Axe Knight.
Yes, Axe Knight doesn't appear to be a dangerous enemy, and may die just gonna hurt more. So certainly a fair game to grind here.
Yeah, I imagine he is going to do probably 2 more, maybe 3 more. No, 2 more. Counting this one. So 1 more after this, and then use the outside return combo to drop the princess off at the castle.
Ooh. Maybe not. Easy coordinates.
Oh, uh-oh. And also, that hurt more did not connect, which is interesting.
Very easy count. Well, fairly easy. Oh, Kongcakes forgot. 30 north, 7 east.
30 north, 7 east. Yep, that doesn't seem too bad.
Alright, so it might be a viable walk.
And Pantheranos just beat me to it in terms of point.
Alright, Tristal brings back the lady. Wait, no, go on detour.
Gonna stock up the old magic points first. Fair enough. Gonna take her on a tour around the world, I guess.
Alright, and Kongcakes finds the token. Sans Princess.
Yeah, so very countable coordinates.
Wasn't for naught though. Tristal did get a level off that grind, so there's definitely gains to be had. And now 3 levels in front of Kongcakes. Which begs the question: where do you grind for the end game levels?
Well, the Axe Knight, as I recall, Swamp Cave isn't that far from the castle, so Axe Knight not a bad choice. Muse Miniature pointing out that also Brecconary not that far from the Swamp Cave, which also helps.
There we go, free grind spot there. Again, the Hawk's Nest spot is very far away, not worth the trouble. And Trolloc is unknown. May have a good spike tile or not, but walking all the way to Trolloc to start your grind is not always ideal.
Right. Additionally, we do see some golems and some other kind of endgame enemies that have easy abilities just sort of wandering the map. So maybe you just do that. Maybe you just hang out here by Cantlin.
It's hard to say. I've watched a few races now. I've done some commentary on them where we've had racers choose to overworld grind, and even against like the Accident grind, where it's the pretty much the weakest boss monster possible, the sheer speed of it lets them keep up pace and catch up over time. So I'm almost leery about doing overworld grinding. If you do it while you're exploring, fantastic, but I'm almost not willing to bet my race on I hope this enemy shows up that's really strong.
Right. Right, very fair. I think given that, I believe that for now, the Swamp Cave is probably the play to make in terms of grinding.
Alright, Tristal gets coordinates. Face palms. Is back to the castle.
This is very countable. And gets it on the first try. Yeah, that was some of the easiest counting I have seen outside of when you get ludicrous stuff like 3 east, 1 north.
Alright, Tristal has a choice to make. Jerk Cave and Charlock, or Grind Spot. Kongcakes, meanwhile, is behind a whole dungeon, has to find Garen's grave, which appears to be a bit to the east of here. That should be the Trading Cave.
And he's going west. Uh-oh.
Don't do it!
So while we wait for Tristal to turn in his items, let's talk a little bit about the colors that you're seeing on the tracker for the stats. So an orange stat, actually, let's start with the green stat. The green stat means you're good to go. That's all you need to defeat the Dragon Lord. The orange stats are kind of, maybe, kind of, I like to say, context sensitive. It kind of depends on what your other stats are. And then white is you're really not there yet. And then earlier on we saw red, which basically means a terrible beginning. So Tristal is good on HP and kind of on a lot of other things, or just not ready yet.
Enough HP. You can use that necklace to boost your strength by 10, maybe take you over the top that you required to get the last few hits of the Dragon Lord. But you lose that HP as well, so you gotta remember that you have to have a real surplus of it to do it safely. Going down Charlock, we got fun and games.
And the hurt more dodge from the Axe Knight is.
There's no fearless in Charlock. Kongcakes, fortunately, in the exact opposite location of Garenham.
That is very much not what he is looking for, but gonna looks like he is completely out of MP, so gonna restock that.
There's definitely a dive to get the treasury and get information using MP freely in this first floor. You dive to the Dragon Lord to fight the final boss of the game, Dragon Lord. You want to maintain as much of your MP as possible.
Yes, I imagine he's going to be, as you said, just doing an information dive here, trying to maybe scout out Charlock, see what enemies are in there, see what he has to worry about when he does actually go down to play to win, as it were. Yeah, if he's throwing out Radiance, he's just looking for information. And of course, wanting to check out the treasury, see what's in there, hopefully grab Erdrick's sword out of there. Which means,
Yeah, Radiant's not really a bad play right now. 84 MP means that 4 MP of, you have 4 surplus MP. So you have a Radiant there available. You want to hold on to that and use a heal spell for, maybe having a run block or two. Or if you have a really annoying enemy, you want to stop spell on the way down just because it's that annoying. Oh, yes, Lorgon, yes, this has been a opening grind. The gates opened, they both found Rimladar at the same time, literally, and the floodgates opened up. Tristal had a few more levels and already saw Garenham, so much easier finish for Tristal. Once Kongcakes has the location of Garenham down, and it's not looking, Kongcakes is grinding in that desert. So Kongcakes is doing what I was afraid that would happen, and trying to find golems in the desert.
Yep. So you might be wondering why I dropped that link in chat there, and it's because we are about to play the pyramid. In the treasury, there are 6 chests arranged, 1 on top, 2 in the middle row, 3 on the bottom, and we'd like to make those the same items or dollar amounts as in the classic game show pyramid, which from bottom left to top right go 50, 100, 150, and 200, 250 in the middle row, and then 300 on the top. You can also go with the judges table, which is the vanilla Erdrick's sword location. And so your game, while we wait to head down there, is to guess where Erdrick's sword is going to be. Which box? Which chest? Is it in the pyramid? Is it at the judges table?
We're having a alignment chart of this thing. Your chest is your alignment. Of course, Calc Evil, your desire for ruin, your Calc Evil table chest.
I always bet on Judge's table, so.
Because they're all savages, that's why. Alrighty, but still heading down there in due time. Kongcakes, which you give the grind now, refill, and head back towards, hopefully towards Garanham. He's walked past the cave that's just the herald of the town 3 times now.
So it's another 17 agility for Tristal on that level. It really seems like this seed, you've either gotten 0 agility or you've gotten massive agility, and there's really been nothing in between. But as you can see, it's all averaged out pretty well. The agility now showing green for Tristal, 83.
Alright, so our spike tiles, chat asked about good grinding spots. Our Hawk's Nest tile is a stone man, which is not really worth the trouble. Swamp Cave tile is an axe knight, so that's not a bad choice to go to if you want to sit there and grind for a bit. And we did see Charlock's spike as well, so time will tell about that one. Ooh, Tristal actually ran out of gas and left the town. Or did they die? No.
Let's see. Now
I was watching Kongcakes and suddenly, boom, we're back in Breckenary.
Let's see. With the Erdrick sword, that would get him to 129. He might be thinking he can win here. He might have recharged to try and actually make this. He might be playing to win here, Tristal might.
Viable option. You're close to the castle too. If you fail this dive, you'll have the sword for the next time round. You're very close, and you're an hour and a half to a seed now, playing against an opponent of equal caliber. Again, MP is a bit dicey. 93, you're looking at 11 heal mores. At 121, tap power will be, what, 131? The sword?
129 it'll be with the sword.
129, 29, divided by 2, 14 top, 7 middle, 7 bottom.
Yeah, he does have the death necklace as well, which if he puts that on, and he could, that would put him up to 139, would make it 9 to 19. Which then I think it becomes a lot more viable.
Yeah, it's all up in the air. Definitely a gamble on time here. Kongcakes finds Garanham and Garen's grave. So we'll have soon the goods. They'll probably do a full dive, because we'll be missing the, still missing the sword. Already. Note that in Charlock, enemies have a bit of a run modifier, so your agility is not as potent as escaping in Charlock. The enemies are very soft. A lot of hurt spells, a lot of stop spells. Endgame enemies have been giving a pretty tame roster of abilities.
And Thurnos asking in chat, is Tristal going after DL who are just diving for sword? Given that he's running from battles, I have to think he thinks he's good with, once he gets the sword and puts on the death necklace, I have to think he's going for DL2 here.
Yeah, it's very possible to do the dive in one go. If Tristal gets to the treasury and finds the chest is not there, that makes me mention it. But other than that, no, at least we get a shot and swing for it. Alright, bottom floor time.
Let's see what we've got.
The 50.
And that was the $150 chest there. The bottom
backwards.
Oh, bottom right chest. First shot for Tristal.
Alright. It says, yep, I got my sword. We're heading over to the other side.
Yep, he's going.
Yep, Tristal looking pretty solid. Damage rolls being that strong, it would take a series of minimums and maybe a miss menu to really be a problem. 7 to 14 base without the death necklace. If they put that necklace on, you're looking at 9 to 19.
Correct. Should make 14 his average.
Alright, World's Squishy's Armor Knight. Use your spike tile.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
What's on that death necklace? Body is being squeezed.
Time to be called a fool. And do some work.
And gets the good luck round 1, starting off with that stop spell.
Alright, get the herbs, we're gonna fish for... Yeah, we've got one too. So we're fishing for a stop spell and a free round of combat.
Ooh, and the back attack. That's not what you want to see. I'm gonna get 1 attack off here, though, before he has to heal. It's a 17. Good start.
Shouldn't be a problem. The back attack takes away that... The fishing for the free strike at the regular one, back attack raises that. Not a huge deal.
Swinging on 47, I like the gamble there, and it pays off.
Yeah, we're seeing again the mindset of I'm an hour 40 minutes to the seed now. I should be done. They are probably done. What's wrong with the seed? So you're seeing that risky gamble on 47, 48 damage rolls.
Yeah, plus the back attack on the Dragon Lord. Doing the quick math, I think this is doable. He's a favorite, but I don't think it was a lock, so I definitely understand the game swinging on 47.
Yeah, Tristal has a 2-level lead. Tristal could probably lose this fight 3-4 times before Kongcakes made a serious attempt to get back into the race. Unfortunately, just due to the bad luck of finding Garenham.
Yes, but of course Tristal doesn't know that, so...
Alright, so we're approaching the finishing blow soon. Trying to between 150 and 165, if I recall correctly.
That is correct.
51 and 55.
And Centroid is counting, apparently he's at 147 right now. 161.
Ooh, it's almost on,
and Tristal with the
max.
immediate attack, he's been doing the math. He knows this attack is guaranteed, and it is.
Yeah, so basically a max HP Dragon Lord.
Yes, indeed.
You got emotes, you got letters. You got your GGs. Throw them in the chat. Tristal's coming home.
Legends have indeed proven to true. Yeah, so close to max HP there. And there it is, and Tristal's official SRL time, 1 hour, 39 minutes, 28 seconds.
Okay, Teletape is there. Tristal has 10 less deaths. Much better luck early on the grind. Kongcakes had to reset and try to find money. Saw the town in the swamp up north. Was tempted by it and spent time trying to get that extra early equipment.
Yep. Unfortunately, unable to make it there. And then, as you mentioned, the late game difficulty finding Garen.
level 14 for Kongcakes on the top level of Charlock is just grinding here. It's not trying to make a dive, it's just simply grinding on the top floor.
But in the meantime, we have Tristal in the chat. Tristal, GG, congratulations. Tell us a little bit about that.
I felt like that was a fairly average seed, really. The early game was very interesting with what I had to do to move ahead, but the Tristluck pulled through with the Metal Slime at level 7, pushing me to 8 and getting me really across that big hurdle early on, because it was just going to take forever to get there without it. So lots of Tristluck and Charlock as well, so nothing really to complain about. Everything was pretty smooth at the end.
Yeah, it was a very, very soft selection of Charlock enemies. A lot of the ending game enemies had Hurt or Stop Spell. Very tame. Early game enemies had Fire Breath and Sleep and nasty stuff. But all the ending game enemies had basically, 6 damage, 10 damage attacks.
Yeah, lots of Stop Spell, lots of Hurt on the endgame stuff, and I don't think there were Fun Police anywhere in the seed. At least I didn't remember seeing any, so... yeah, I mean, if we needed the stats in Charlock to be like level 17, level 18, that honestly still would have felt really good, because everything in there was just so fast. And then, of course, they had the X-Knight Trap Tile in Swamp Cave, so... I don't think anything really would have been an issue, unless Red Dragons had, like, Wombo Combo or something and suddenly showed up.
I think we saw one Red Dragon on Kongcakes' side, and even it was pretty soft. I think it had, like, Stop Spell and maybe thing.
Yeah, Red Dragons were near and in Hawk's Nest.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, there were. It sounds like everything was pretty easy, other than that early game with Drakies and Magicians and Druins. Lots of stuff that didn't like us early on. So it was really tough to find enemies that I could both kill and not just immediately die to.
Big difference too was Kongcakes went north first and saw the town of I believe it was Breckenridge up on the swamp, and spent a few attempts to reload and get money to there buy some gear. And you saw that once the ambush, but you went south to Cole and had the armor almost straight away.
Yeah, I figured if Kong didn't find Cole right away like I did, it was going to be a really big advantage for me, given that how stupid Erdrick's armor is early on. I think with Breckenary so close by, I think it's very reasonable to reroll and try and get Copper's Sword early on, because that really makes a huge difference. You could probably just one-shot Drakies pretty early. And so that just pushes everything along early on, assuming... you don't just get hurt more at like level 3 or something. So I think that's a really reasonable play if you know about Breckenary, but I did not go that way because Druins made me very sad. So I said, okay, let's try the other way, and oops, I found Erdrick's armor, so there you go.
Yeah, very, very good break there. As you said, the beginning was very difficult, a lot of DL2 breath. But once you got over that initial hurdle, it was a pretty smooth seed overall.
Yeah, once we finally jumped from 18 max hit points to somewhere in the 40s, it got a lot more reasonable. I still failed to kill a Wraith. Like, there were a few things I was really trying to kind of punch above my height kind of deal, to try and really boost along that experience gain. Because just going from like 5 to 6 or 6 to 7 on red slimes and ghosts really wasn't going to cut it, I felt like. So tried what I could, and then just eventually found Breckenary and Copper Sword and got enough money for that and was rolling.
Yeah, I think you trying to kill the Wraith was your biggest time loss, actually.
Yeah, I felt like that was like a minute and a half or something like that. So lots of dodges in the early game too really messed me up a bit. Just on easy stuff, it wasn't like super lethal for a lot of the early stuff. It was just a big time waste. I counted like 6 or 7 dodges on early stuff that had no business doing that.
Yeah, the old 1 out of 64 dodge or whatever it is, where...
Yeah, ghosts were particularly agile today.
Right, yeah. But with that, you move on to 2-1, which puts you kind of in the driver's seat these last 2 weeks here. Be able to move on to the brackets.
Yeah, I'm definitely glad my back's not against the wall, because, I mean, even in the 1 and 2 bracket, there's some killers waiting. So at least I've sort of got one to give still, should I come across an S Cardinality or a Game Boy, etc. So, I mean, we'll see how it all plays out. Lots of races tomorrow to see who ends up in which bracket as well. But you know, nothing's safe, but it's nice to have this one in the books.
Yes, as you said, a lot of heavy hitters really all over the place, but obviously given the choice between 2 and 1 and 1 and 2, you want to be 2 and 1 regardless, so congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Kongcakes is 15, looks at the stats and says, I can work with this, and heads out to recharge.
Yeah, when I first dove Charlock at 14, the thought was to just try and get the sword and warp out. And then just everything in Charlock was super easy to kill, so I figured I can just get the sword on the way with what 15 got me. I didn't really need too much more than what I had. You know, 1 heal more, a little more power. The agility actually was a big help too, because it meant I could run away from red dragons should they show up, and also defense break Axe Knight and things like that. So level 15 was a big help, and I was kind of hoping it would be.
Yeah, it certainly was.
Oh, the other big time waste was saving Gwaelin, actually. You know, I knew at that point that the token had to be on the overworld map. So I was already there. I knew I needed to level a little bit more as well. So I figured I may as well just preemptively rescue her, because the map was a little gnarly. I mean, if the token were somewhere near like Rimmildart or something, I was really going to want Gwaelin's love to go get it. I'm not super adept at getting those crazy far away overworld items without her help. So, you know, that made me delay a little bit. And there's always that moment when you're getting ready to type .done, but you still have to parse through Gwaelin's text, and you're worried, man, am I going to lose by 5 seconds because I saved Gwaelin? Luckily, not to be this time.
Yeah, it's always when you're getting ready, and it's just like, oh, come on, text, go, go, go. Oh, Gwaelin, what are you doing?
So it looks like Kong is just diving for the sword, because he has almost no MP.
Yeah,
Kong left the castle. Kong didn't walk back to Breckenary.
yeah,
Kong just walked around and
all right.
went back in.
I thought he had gone to Breckenary and walked out, but maybe not. Either way, you're right. He did not refill his MP for whatever reason.
On the plus side, though, I don't think anything's really going to be requiring him to use it. You know, he's got Silver Shield, so his defense is up to par. Nothing in here is really going to put him in any danger, so I don't see any reason why he shouldn't be able to get the sword and outside.
Yeah, it shouldn't be a problem. So even though the odds are always overwhelmingly that the sword is in the treasury, were you relieved when you opened that first chest and you found Erdrick's sword?
I mean, I was prepared with a second torch if I needed to go back in and go get the vanilla chest, but it was, you know, it was nice that it was the first one. But given how easy everything was in Charlock, I wasn't really worried about it at all.
Right, yeah, very kind Charlock.
And the start of the Charlock was very, every enemy was basically swinging well below the weight class.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's one of the easiest Charlocks I've ever seen outside of, like, Chaos Mode. And even in Chaos Mode, probably. Like, there was just literally nothing in there that was a threat at all. I don't think I even had to use a safety herb at any point just to, you know, make sure I wouldn't fail to run from an AK-47 a bunch of times in a row and have it somehow roll attack a whole bunch in a row too.
You know, you had all 6 herbs. You just fished Dragon Lord and got your stop spell in the first try.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, that was also very lucky. The 2 out of 3 stop spells.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, really, your only bad luck, I'd say, was getting back attacked by DL too.
Yeah, and I probably played a little bad going for it on 47 right away there too on turn 2 or 3, but I knew it was actually going to be still pretty close despite, you know, all the calculations, and that one bad heal more really kind of set me up to be disappointed, but Dragon Lord 2 was feeling nice tonight.
Right, yeah. I noted I probably would have also swung on 47 there, if I'm being honest, so...
Yeah, if it was 46, I probably would have healed the 47.
Right.
It's such a low percentage. We're at, what, 12.5 to die there or something like that. I'm not sure if he could have attacked me for 47 or not. Probably exactly 47.
Yeah, probably. I don't know what the actual calculation is.
Yeah, I've never bothered to really learn that intimate detail.
Yeah, basically, unless my defense is absolutely abysmal and I'm in danger of being hit for like 52 or something like that, I don't even factor.
Right, yeah, I'll know it if I'm going to get hit for 50, but I'm not going to bother learning if I, you know, if the max is 47 or if it's 48 or what.
Alright, sword acquired. One little lap to find Dragon Lord.
Yep, going to, I guess gonna check out this... Gonna check out the spike tile, if nothing else. Because... You're right, he is not having any issue.
Oh, I think he just realized
he might have, yeah, he sort of stopped there and said, hold on.
Well, on the plus side, he no longer has to take that detour to the treasury, and he doesn't have to worry about vanilla chest or anything like that. So
Right.
now it's relatively free here.
Yeah, he should be fine now.
Alrighty, head back in. Again, that'll be a free walk. It was really a 1 minute walk down to the bottom of Sherlock. Shouldn't be a problem at all.
Oh, yeah. We'll have to, once Kongcakes finishes up here, and we'll have to, A, ask if he wants an interview, and then B, if he does, we'll have to ask him if he thought he had gone to the inn there before. I would have to think the answer is yes, but I don't know for sure.
If sudden pauses, you think, like, I'm ready to go, Nope, I'm not ready to go. Something's wrong here.
Yep, what? And why is 12? What?
Green Dragon's another enemy in Charlock. I don't even think I saw any Green Dragons, but I mean, that's just the full suite of easy enemies on the first floor there, really. With, I mean, Armored Knights are there, but they have Stop Spell and Hurt, so they're as easy as they get. I mean, Wizards and Werewolves and Axe Knights and Green Dragons and easy Armored Knights. I think that's literally as easy as it gets, unless like Star Wyvern's also a Stop Spell or something, you know?
Yep. And Kongcakes with the one attack followed by the run. I'm wondering if that was just a miss menu. That seems like it. He's running away from everything else here.
I mean, I know I keep repeating myself, but man, it's almost a shame that we didn't need to level in Charlock because these enemies are just so juicy. I mean, I wish I could see this every Charlock run.
There in the corner there. Again, the game does have a little input, I don't want to call it input lag, but definitely doesn't always take your directions. So it's very important when you're walking the maps and caves and doing your heal wars in combat to make sure you're getting the spell you want.
Yes. You do not want to mismenu a Hurt More when you mean to heal more on Dragon Lord 2.
Yeah, only really crazy people ever decide to cast Hurtmore on Dragon Lord.
Yes.
Just absolute madmen with no regard for their own safety.
Alright, down to the U, then the crosswalk, and back in the basement.
Well, this was also the first time I got to use the new Death Necklace equation. I think I still probably would have been okay in that fight without it here, with so much HP and the defense being alright. But it was interesting to think about, at least.
Right, yeah, I think you would have gotten some double attacks, although when I'm doing calculations, I don't like to rely on getting double attacks, even if it's fairly likely. So I did like the Death Necklace play.
Yeah, I mean, the one you can usually count on is just the beginning of the fight. If you start out with 130 hit points, then you're pretty likely to get a double attack in there. But other than that, you got to depend on the bigger heal mores. Yeah, the Amused Miniature in chat, there is a slightly revised Death Necklace formula whereby it's always remove 25% of your max HP in exchange for 10 attack points. But they've changed whether or not the amount of HP you lose is rounded up or rounded down. So it's now more in your favor. Before, to get to that magic number of 97 max hit points to make sure you survive 2 big dragon breaths, you needed to have 133 hit points, I believe, when wearing it. Otherwise, at 132, you'd go down to 96 and not be in a safe spot.
Any episode is bad, as we know in Mario Party, any Mario Party really, Bowser always rounds up. So we have 1 coin left, and you lose half of them, you lose 1 coin. That's the end of a massive 3-round collapse from 5 stars and 100 coins to nothing and nothing.
Yeah. Kongcakes starting off the Dragon Lord 2 fight with a 13.
Again, for swing, heal more, swing, heal more. The low HP from the Death Necklace is basically to ensure you're not going to get a double. It would take, well, 2 of those in a row, really, to make that viable.
Yeah. I think he's still in pretty good shape here. At 10, probably not what he wanted to see, as close to minimum.
He's slowly increasing the dead percentage here with that 10 and then the 11.
Yeah. Oh, another.
Oh no, another 10.
We know it's 161. It's going to be real close now.
Yeah, he's still okay. 12. Yeah, with 2 more heal mores, he should have this. Providing he doesn't miss menu. There's a 14, that's helpful. And yeah, he's got this. Yeah, with a 17 at the end there.
There we go.
Very nice. Everyone prepare your GGs here.
Alright. Falling close behind. I finally found Garanham and taking down the Dragon Lord. Kongcakes bringing back home, but no princess. We'll save 5 seconds.
Yes, and there it is. And Kongcakes' official time, 2 hours and 41 seconds.
Scram 2. Kongcakes had the early game rough start. Ran into tons of enemies with breath attacks, almost twice as many as you did, which is hard to believe. And spent time trying to get that early copper sword to no avail. They were both runners. Again, the seed had a different exploration problem. The map was pretty well spread out. Had to go around to the corners to find details. Hawk's Nest in the far corner there. Garanham to the far northeast. And by that ping, I hear should be Kongcakes in our Discord. Kongcakes, good work. Very nice there.
Thank you.
Alrighty, so our early race, you ran into a lot of fire breath, and I saw you try to go back and buy some weapons and be Brecatary in the swamp there. And you gave up. You tried once or twice and gave up on it afterwards. Were you just thinking you were behind at the point and just had to grind your levels, or were you just was it too much of a walk to get there in one piece?
So I had died a bunch, of course, and then I saw the town there, and I was like, okay, I could get, I think it was like chainmail and a copper sword with the starting money. So I reset. I made a new file. I was like, all right, let's walk there. And I get a few steps over there, and I just get fire breath, and I was like, all right, that's enough of that. I'm already over it. So then I just tried to get a few levels off of the ghosts, and oh my goodness.
Yeah, baseline ghosts are a pain. The hit points, enough defense to be a pain with a 7 or 8 strength, and the dodge chance, which is always a factor.
Yes, and you had the Drakies with the Dragon Lord 2 breath. You were really kind of just stuck killing red slimes there, it seemed like. Try to get your levels for a little bit.
Yeah, the end game enemies were such pushovers, but it was so stacked right outside that castle. It made it really rough. And then later on, I started to get into a rhythm, and I got a few levels, got a little bit of strength, and I started, but it was just way too much, or way too little, way too late, you know. And I'm guessing I was already pretty far behind just by how long the difference in finishes was.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit. The main thing besides your rough beginning was you had a really hard time finding Garanham and Garen's grave. That, I believe, was really the other big gap between you and Tristal. Was there any point there where you were just kind of wondering where the heck it was, or...
And towards the end, I realized, because I was like, I looked everywhere, and I'm like, it's got to be near the North Swamp Cave. And of course, it's right there, and I'm like, man, the biggest mistake I made was going into that cave and going through it. Usually when I see a swamp cave, I'm like, all right, let me remember that. I'll make sure there's nothing around it, and then I'll go through there. But for some reason, I went through it. It took me back the other way, and I didn't go back over there until I had searched everything else, and I was like, it's got to be over there. So if I would have just walked past the cave, I would have found the town, would have found, you know, the grave and everything, and but yeah, that was a pretty big mistake I made.
Yeah, this was an interesting seed in that you had the swamp cave, but it actually was all just one big continent. It all was connected. And then the other thing was the very easy coordinates count, which is not something I've seen too much of lately.
Yeah, that was nice. I actually had to talk to the guy twice because I was like, all right, 37. Boom, I got it. And then I got a few steps away and I was like, I don't know if it was 7 East or 7 West, so I had to go back and talk. I probably could have just walked either way and it wouldn't have been that big of a deal, but I had to go back and talk to him again. That was another, like, kind of just, you know, slip brain fart, you know what I mean?
Right, yeah. I've definitely done that. On your Sharlock dives, on your initial dive, did you think you had refilled your MP and you just hadn't?
So I went to town. I was like, all right, let's go. We'll heal up. We'll get all the herbs. We'll be good. So I go in there. I guess I bought herbs. I didn't go to the inn. So I go down. I'm like, I know the sword's got to be somewhere in here. So we'll find it, and then we'll go fight the boss. So I get the sword and I start walking away. I was like, I was debating whether I wanted to put on the death necklace. You know, I didn't know how much MP I had and whatnot. So I was like, how much MP do I have? And I hit A and I see 12. I was like, oh my god, I didn't heal. So I had to outside, walk all the way back, heal, and then come back and do it. Yeah, I thought, you know, I went to town, I bought all the herbs, I thought I had healed, and I just didn't, and I wasn't looking at my MP during the fight, so I didn't even realize it until I was on the basement floor, you know.
Right, yeah, we had kind of presumed that you were just doing a information dive because Tristal kind of noted that even without the MP, Sharlock was just so easy. You really didn't need MP to make it down there.
Yeah, I think that's probably why I didn't notice that I was so low until I went to see, okay, what are all my stats for the fight? And then when I saw the 12, I was like, oh my goodness. Yeah, I was gonna get the sword on the way and then go fight him, but I kind of botched that one a little.
Yeah, that makes it a little trickier.
Yeah, I definitely can't beat him with 12 MP, I don't think.
Let's see, I'm trying to... No. No, you cannot. I was trying to sit here and think, well, maybe if you Hail Mary hurt more, but no, even if that hits, you're still short, unfortunately. Okay, so, well, Kongcakes, unfortunately with that loss, you dropped to 1 and 2, but you're in good company with both myself and Seawolf, among others.
Yeah, I really need to get another seed like the first week I had, where the hurt more at level 1, nice big open, no swamp around the castle, you know, it's nice and easy for me, you know. But real quick, I just want to give a shout out to all you guys commentating, everybody doing the commentary, doing the restreams, doing the tracking and everything. That's awesome. Thank you all so much for doing that so we can have our races be shown. I really appreciate that.
Yes, absolutely, and thank you for running. So, any final thoughts, Kongcakes or Tristal, on this seed?
Man, that it's so front loaded. It was a little sad when we got to the end. It was just everything was so easy to kill, so nice. The golems had hurt, axe knights had hurt, or armor knights had hurt. It's like, oh my goodness, give me that please every time. But save the dragon breath from the level 1 monster.
Yeah, we want those endgame enemies every seed.
Yeah, I mean, that was probably literally the easiest Charlock I've ever seen, with no red dragons anywhere to be found, and every enemy was super, super easy. Again, I'd also like to give shout-outs to all the commentators, trackers, and restreamers helping out with the tournaments. And also, anybody out there, if you're not already following Kongcakes, you should do so, because his content is great, and he is so much fun to watch.
Hey, I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Alright, so with that, I believe we are going to head off here for the night. This is the only Dragon Warrior Randomizer tournament race tonight, I imagine. There may well be some pickup races going on. But tomorrow we have a loaded slate. We have 6 races, I believe, starting at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, going all the way up to 9 p.m. Eastern Time. So, you will get your fill of Dragon Warrior Randomizer on the Randomania network here. But in the meantime, thank you to everybody behind the scenes. Thank you, The Amused Miniature, for doing the restream Centroid41 for tracking. Thank you to my co-commentator, Seawolf1. And of course, thank you to Kongcakes and Tristal for the race. GG's to you both. Thank you to McGrew for creating the randomizer, getting us all together here. And thank you all for watching. And with that, for the Seawolf1, this is Emptyeye signing off. Bye-bye, everybody.